Dhammika's billions spent on presidential dream-goer begging. Dilith attacks all with links to Basil. Maitri switches lanes. Namal meets Gota and asks him to remove Sugiswara.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Dhammika's billions spent on presidential dream-goer begging. There are about 7 to 8 months to go for the presidential polls. This time around, politicians seem to have understood that preparations are needed at the earliest. The week was mainly occupied by the sudden death of State Minister Sanath Nishantha, but political scheming continued on the sidelines. Reliable sources say a top young government figure had a face-to-face with a big shot where the future political roadmap was discussed. Respective strategies and even the timeframes for elections were elaborated on by the two. The big shot told the other that contesting for the presidency would be decided at the end of April only. The young one said his side too would take a decision similarly. Curiosity is growing up about the SLPP's candidate. There was talk that Basil had an unofficial agreement with Dhammika, who harboured high hopes on becoming its candidate. SLPP's backbenchers and organisers started asking the leadership if it will be Dhammika, Namal or Ranil. After spending millions to get his national list seat, Dhammika has thrown much more to secure the presidential candidacy, according to his business associates. They say that more than 2 billion rupees had already been spent, with plans to set aside even 5 times that amount in the future. He gave 140 million rupees for the SLPP convention last month, and later gave more than 40 million rupees for decoration work, and also to Basil's friends to open party offices. But opposition within the SLPP remains for Dhammika, with some even threatening to quit the party. Notably, some in his monthly payroll had met Namal and spoke against naming him as the candidate. A career politician should be fielded, almost all in the SLPP insist, resulting in Basil informing Dhammika that a candidate cannot be announced at this time. From the United States, Basil even spoke to the party's leaders via Zoom and told them not to say anything until an official announcement is made. He is of the view that it will be most advantageous to announce the candidate when the election is close at hand, hinting at end March or early April to be the appropriate time. Although he briefed Dhammika on that, the latter looks deeply disappointed. That is evident from what he told Sajith Premadasa when they met at India Day celebrations. Dhammika has reportedly asked some media institutions for airtime to answer his critics. Hiru has jumped at the request and he is expected to be featured on Salakuna tonight. Dhammika told Gamini Gunaratne, aka Bhatta, that he has even sent a message to Ranil that he will make an announcement about his political future during the programme. It seems that his presidency dream is going to shatter. But it is too early to rule him out, with anything being possible in politics. Dilith attacks all with links to Basil. Ranil is yet to make his stance known, although Ravi K. Wajira and other UMP leaders have assured that he will be a candidate. They have also been saying that several opposition MPs will join to strengthen the president's hands. But nothing of that sort happened so far. According to the latest, certain leading opposition figures will ally with Ranil next month. A hint at their identity has been given as the ones who keep their silence at present. Even senior lawmaker Rajitha Senaratne has expressed willingness to work with Ranil, and some say a bigger picture looms behind the scene. Another claim going viral is that MJP leader Dilith Jayawira is to support Ranil as his PM candidate. But at a party meeting in Anuradhapura, he ruled out siding with Ranil. He also accused the National People's Power of spreading such lies. Some say Dilith is executing a contract given by Ranil to break votes like his uncle JR did in 1982. JR fielded his crony Colvin R. De Silva against Kobakadua. Returning from Anuradhapura, Dilith went to a party at a friend's place in Kotte, who are closely related to Ranil. A retired principal told Dilith to join with the president, saying that a prime minister like him will be good for the country. No, auntie. Just like the Rajapaksas, Ranil too did a big harm to the country. People cannot stand both. Another woman took it up strongly, saying he too should be responsible for the country's plight. He replied, It is true I worked for Gota's election, but from the day he became president, Basil took powers to his own hands. Ali Sabri and I told him not to, but PB was made the president's secretary on the day of the swearing-in. Basil did that. It was Basil who actually ran the country. He is responsible for Gota's downfall. He went on like that for about half an hour. He also said that Basil came to his house a few months ago and asked him to be their candidate. I said no. He returned a few days later with a promise of the party's leadership at a party convention. He said he would hand over the party and leave the country. I rejected that too. It was thereafter that Dhammika was given that D-rope, Dilith said. Anyway, several womenfolk of that house promised him their votes. Then, another person present there, who has links with the media, took Basil to task as well. He agreed with Dilith, pointing out how Basil tries to sabotage Ranil's political work. Even Wajira, Lanza and Prasanna have warned the president about him, he pointed out. Basil was behind it when the president suddenly cancelled a meeting with Lanza last Friday before leaving the country. He told Ranil that the SLPP would support him at the appropriate time. The media person suggested that if Dilith hopes to contest, he should meet with his closest friends and discuss things first. Dilith, who had a few drinks by that time, said that is why he would not side with Ranil, nor help anyone with links to Basil. He shouted that he would attack all. Politics by Rajapaksas is now over, he said. That brings to mind the picture leaked by Dilith when celebrating the last election win. So, we will not take his big talk that seriously. Not words, action is the need of the hour. Maithri switches lanes. Some in the party are angry over the talk that ex-president Maithripala Sirisena plans to support Ranil. About a week or two ago, he started discussions with leftist parties about an alliance at future elections. Also, there was a discussion about the possibility of allying with the SJB. But he has now apparently changed his stance. That came after a meeting on the 22 at the Dali Road headquarters. Meeting him were the SLFP ministers and key MPs in the Lanza faction. Maithri, Lanza, Anurayappa, Prema Jayantha, Nalin, Pushpakumara, Nimal Siripala, Alagiyawanna, Amarawera and Mitrapala discussed things for around 2 hours. The main topic was on supporting Ranil. Maithri was not averse to that. After that, the pro-SJB ones in the SLFP became angry. Amarawera, Duminda Disanayake and some others are now in close contact with the Lanza faction, which intends to get Ranil elected president. Nimal meets Gota and asks him to remove Sugiswara. The new alliance held its inaugural rally at Jaela town on the 27th. Present were Nimal Lanza, Anurayappa, Nalin Fernando, Susil Prema Jayantha and Priyankara Jayaratne. Main organising work for the rally was done by Siripala Amarasinghe and Sugeswara Bandara from their head office at Rajagiriya. Amarasinghe is a one-time JVP MP who later allied with Basil and held top positions in several state institutions. He was the authority when Basil formed the SLPP. Then, he came to be at odds with Basil and joined Lanza. Sugeswara has been Gota's private secretary from the time of his presidency. He has an office at the presidential secretariat. He did not leave Gota when his Mirihana home was surrounded by Aragalaya protesters. He went with Gota when he fled the country. At the same time, he is a Colombo organizer for Lanza's faction. Both Siripala and Sugeswara were on Lanza's rally stage. That was a preamble to the following story. Recently, Nimal went to see Uncle Gota and told him, Sugeswara joins with Lanza and attacks us. He scolded our family very badly a few days ago. It is not good for you to keep someone like him. Even our family is worried. So, it is good if you remove him soon. Also present there was T.A.D. Ranjith, who is the managing director of Testa Group. Ranjith revealed what happened at the Nimal Gota meeting when the Director Board of State Trading Corporation was in session. Its chairman Asiri Walisundara berated Ranjith for talking unrelated things. Anyway, what is important here is Gota's decision, if he will keep or expel Sugeswara. The Lanza faction is firmly opposed to Rajapaksas coming to power again. There is a strong opinion in politics that Sri Lanka should be rid of the Rajapaksas. That could even have an impact on the upcoming election. That's it for today.